Hello, friends. I'm back after about a 3-month creative hiatus. I took time off to finish my children's book that I've been telling you guys that I've been working on, and it should be out in the next month. I am so excited about that. So, working on that, working on my company. I know a lot of you have found me through Art of Natural Wellness and been doing lots of great things over there. And then creating this new little life that I have growing in me. Our daughter, I'm now in my 3rd trimester. And, I've had pretty much all day, everyday morning sickness through my first 2 trimesters. And that's not normal for me. And I'm going to do a video on that sometime soon, where I talk about the differences between my pregnancies, because they have really all been so different. And I think that's really important to note for some of you who may be questioning your pregnancy and why it's different from your last. It's very, very normal. So anyway, I'm really excited to be making videos again. I have so many lined up. So anyway, I want to get to the point of this video because, like I said before, this is my 6th pregnancy, and so I've had a lot of experience trying to refine healthy habits that make me feel great mentally and physically through my pregnancy. And I think I've really come up with 6 great tips that I can share with you guys in hopes that you can maybe learn from my experiences, learn from my mistakes, and skip right to actually having a really enjoyable pregnancy, by not falling into some of the pitfalls that I know I did when I had my earlier pregnancies. So, these are all very, very simple things that you can implement into your life very easily. They don't take a lot of time, but they make a huge difference. So hopefully these will work well for you as they have for me. So diving right into the first one, drinking water right when you wake up in the morning. This has probably made the biggest difference in my life through my pregnancy. And it sounds really simple, really easy to do, but what it does is it really helps jumpstart your day, both from a mental clarity standpoint and an energy standpoint. I feel like I almost had like 2 cups of coffee after I drink this glass of water, because when you're pregnant, you retain a lot of water. You're usually dehydrated when you wake up in the morning because, of course, you're up going to the bathroom most of the time, and you're puffy, and there's all these things that come along with pregnancy that you may not have experienced prior to getting pregnant. But a lot of these things can be cured very, very easily with water. And it is incredible the power that a large glass of water will have over all aspects of your body, mentally, physically, throughout your day, if you just start with that in the morning. Easy to implement, so good for you. Your body will thank you for it. So the next one is limiting refined sugar. And I didn't do this throughout any of my other pregnancies, and I can say this has made a huge difference with this pregnancy. I haven't been craving as much sugar this pregnancy, but sugar kind of has this snowball effect that the more you eat, the more you crave. And I think that might have something to do with it with this. But if I do have a craving for something sweet, I have fruit, and I always have fruit available to me. I make sure that apples and bananas are always around, dates, dried dates, so that you can put them in a smoothie. If you are really craving something sugary, I will get my Garden of Life raw meal, and it's chocolate. There's no sugar added. It's just this amazing vegan shake that I've drank for the past, 10 years. I will put that in with some dates and some bananas and maybe some cacao powder, and it is like a milkshake, but it's so healthy for you. Add in some kale or spinach, and you will feel so much better if you take the refined sugars out. We all know that we have those crashes when we have sugar. That's just how that works. But it is so much more amplified when you're pregnant. I've found that even just the smallest amount of refined sugar makes me want to take a nap for an hour after I eat it. And it's really important to tap into that and figure out how your body reacts to certain foods. And like I said, refined sugar is one of the worst. It will just send you for an awful crash, especially when you're pregnant. And I've given up all sugar this pregnancy, except for, of course, fruit. And I feel incredible. I don't feel like I need to take naps during the day. And that has not been the case for my past pregnancies. And this kind of leads into the next one, which is keeping a food journal. And you don't have to be super vigilant with this. You don't have to actually go out and buy like a journal or anything like that. But taking note of things that make you feel poorly when you're pregnant. This is going to differ so dramatically from when you're not pregnant because your body just reacts differently to just about everything. If you haven't noticed, smells and cravings and aversions and all that kind of stuff. Morning sickness can be amplified by certain foods. Tiredness can be amplified, mental grogginess can be amplified. There's just so many different aspects that you notice and are very sensitive to when you're pregnant. So keeping a food journal and saying, okay, I went out and had Indian food today and it made me want to come home and take a nap. Or, maybe you've already noticed that refined sugar does that to you, but making a list of these kind of things and being able to revisit it is so helpful because I found that, first of all, I forget. Second of all, I will say, maybe it didn't make me feel that bad, so maybe I'll just try it again, and then I'll find myself right back in that horrible place that I was before. If I had just written it down and listened to my body and paid attention to those things, then nobody has time to spend part of your day taking a nap or sitting in your chair at work just feeling awful and sick, and it's not worth it. So keep a food journal, listen to your body, and see how you feel with everything that you eat. I found that I load avocado toast with veggies, and it makes my morning sickness feel better. It doesn't make me feel tired. I feel like I have energy, like it actually gave me energy as opposed to taking it away, which so much food actually makes me feel like my stomach is working so hard at digesting it that it doesn't leave me any energy or mental clarity to really do anything for the next couple hours. So of course, avocado toast, and I actually just posted this on my Instagram the other day, is kind of my go-to for something that I know will sustain me and make me feel great for the next few hours. And that leads into the next point, which is don't overeat. So many of us go into pregnancy thinking, I'm going to be eating for 2 and I can, I'm already going to be gaining weight, so I can help myself to that second cookie or something along those lines. But depending on what stage you are in your pregnancy, your stomach is getting squished. And of course, in your 3rd trimester, you'll find that you can't eat very much. You have to eat less. But even early on when you're in your 1st trimester and you might not even be showing, but you're having awful morning sickness, I know that for my first couple pregnancies, I felt like eating was actually what was going to help it, was going to make my morning sickness go away. And to an extent it did, but I was choosing too much of the wrong things as well. And that was maybe curbing the morning sickness for a little while, but then making me feel awful afterwards. So along with keeping your food journal, really pay attention to your quantity of food. And I suggest, and I found that this works best for me, is that I eat smaller quantities and I kind of graze throughout the day. And that has served me so well this pregnancy, where again, I'm not tired and, I'm eating the food that I have reported on my food journal to be, making me feel the best. And I just, maybe cut the quantity in half, eat a little bit, see how I feel. And if I'm still hungry in 15 or 20 minutes, then I eat some more. And that has really, really helped me immensely. The next one is kind of a no-brainer. Move your body. You know, we know that exercise is so important. We just know this. But sometimes it's really challenging to find that time in the day to actually carve out to exercise. And I'm not saying that you need to go to the gym. I'm not saying that you have to go to a yoga class. I know how it is. I have 5 children and run a couple businesses. It is very, very challenging to find the time to exercise. But I think you just need to start thinking out of the box a little bit. I'll post a video down in the description below about how I had made a diaper shield, so I can just clip cloth diapers onto this trash can that I cut the bottom out of so that I can just spray them down very easily. It's just a great cloth diapering hack. But it allows me to spray diapers down with one hand. And that allows me to do lunges and squats and leg lifts. And, you know, so for the 10 or 15 minutes that I'm cleaning diapers, I'm also working out. When I'm doing dishes, I'm trying to work out as well. And I'm going to do a video on this as well, where I'm going to show you just a few of the exercise bands that I have that I just kind of have all around the house. And I just carve out 5 or 10 minutes here and there when I'm doing something that doesn't require maybe my legs, or, you know, I might go, we have these chairs in our living room where I can actually do push-ups kind of at an incline. And that's made a huge difference in my arms and my chest this pregnancy. Getting that blood flowing, getting just your body moving is so important, and it makes such a huge difference in how you feel. I will note, in my past pregnancies, my hips have always started hurting from first trimester on while I slept. We have such a comfortable bed. I put a pillow in between my legs. I sleep with a body pillow. There really should be no reason that my hips are hurting other than the fact of normal pregnancy things. You know, you have the relaxin moving through your body and loosening up all your joints and ligaments, and it's just part of the hormonal part of being pregnant. But you can avoid that by moving your body. And I found with this pregnancy that when I do hip exercises, and again, I will share this in an upcoming video, but I'll lay on my side and I'll use a band and I'll you know, bend my knees and lift up one leg at a time. It makes it so I can sleep through the night. I do not have to get up and walk around the house because my hips are hurting so bad. And with all my past pregnancies, I've had to do that. It's been awful. And of course it gets worse the further along I get, but here I am in my 3rd trimester and I've had no issues with my hips, but every single day I've been working them out. So I really feel like that's made a huge difference in how I feel, the quality of sleep that I get, and of course that affects my next day, my mood, and all that kind of wonderful stuff. So very important to move your body. The more weight you gain when you're pregnant, and I don't want to talk about weight too much because your body knows what you need to gain. And as long as you eat healthy, I don't think you should be concerned about it. But I do know that in my pregnancies where I've gained more weight, I've been more uncomfortable. And not just, you know, emotionally or mentally, but physically more uncomfortable. And it's made labor a little bit more challenging. And so moving your body adds that extra element, not only getting the blood flow, keeping, you know, normal pregnancy aches and pains away, but also making it so that you are kind of staying on top of not gaining too much weight so that you're not uncomfortable as you progress through your pregnancy as well as go through labor. So that is really important. Go out for a walk, do some squats while you're doing the dishes. It really does make a huge difference. And that leads me to the last one, which is taking some time for you and your baby. Quiet time. And I've been a meditation teacher for years, and so I understand the anxiety level that people get when you say the word meditation. So I'm very apprehensive to use that. But if you can take time for yourself to just sit and be quiet, you don't have to be meditative. You don't have to isolate yourself in, turn on some music. Just go sit on your bed for a few minutes. But to take 5 minutes and listen to your body, listen to your baby, give yourself gratitude for what your body's doing. Check in with your body and your baby. It will make a huge amount of difference mentally and physically. Something that I've noticed through this pregnancy is, and this is another video that I'm thinking about doing, is that, with hormones and all the changes that are going on in your life, preparing for this new little person to join your life, there's a certain level of anxiety that comes into play. And sometimes I just find myself anxious for what seems like no reason. And it's mainly because I haven't taken that time to really check in and find out what it is that is causing me that anxiety. And that anxiety is not doing me any good. It's not doing the baby any good. And a lot of times it just takes checking in. It just takes listening to, wow, what is it that's going on with me right now? And is this something that I can remedy or just kind of ditch because there's nothing I can do about it? And so taking that time to check in with yourself physically will help you, again, with your food journal. How do I feel? I just had lunch. Maybe that food wasn't sitting really well, and so I'll add that to my food journal. Checking in with your baby, feeling your baby's kicks, and maybe taking that time to do a kick count if you're further along in your pregnancy. Addressing some of the anxieties or the fears that you might have that might be underlying your conscious thought, which definitely take a toll on yourself physically and mentally. This practice will serve you very well. And I know that sometimes it's hard to find that extra time to stop and check in, to have quiet time to yourself. If you do not have a significant other that can watch your other children, or if your day is just so busy that stealing away and having that quiet space is just not possible, then, everybody has to go to the bathroom. I mean, you have to take that time to yourself a few times a day. And if that's the only time that you get where you can be by yourself and be quiet, then take that time. But I'm sure you will find that will serve you well. So that's it. Those are my 6 best healthy pregnancy tips that it's taken me, 6 pregnancies to get to this point where I can say honestly that these 6 things have made such a huge difference in this pregnancy, and it's allowed me to really physically and mentally and emotionally thrive through this pregnancy, feel amazing through this pregnancy, with the exception of the morning sickness, which there's not much I can do about that. But energy and mental clarity and just peacefulness. I really feel like if you implement these 6 tips into your life, as simple as they are, they will make a huge difference. So I hope they help you as much as they've helped me. And until next time, be well.